When are you coming back from your business trip? Huh? The day after tomorrow. Oh, the day after tomorrow. Is something wrong? No, just checking. Well, please take care of our daughter. Of course. But I'm not coming back the day after tomorrow. I'm coming back tomorrow. The reason I lied is, well, it's just a hunch. I've been suspicious of my husband's behavior since before the trip. When I got back from the long business trip, the door, which should have been closed, was open. I sneaked into the house quietly, so I wouldn't be noticed. At the entrance, there were shoes belonging to an unfamiliar woman. I could hear my husband and the woman talking in the living room. I approached the door to eavesdrop on their conversation. But, are you really okay with this? Of course. As long as I can be with you, that's all that matters. I'm so happy. And look, even this kid is attached to you, right? She must have accepted you as her mother. I'm gonna be her mom from now on. Just listening to their conversation made my skin crawl. Even though there was a child, they began to engage in intimate acts. Isn't this a bad place for that? It's fine. No one's watching. But, all right, let's go to the bedroom. Thinking they might come this way, I tried to hide, but it was too late. I had no choice but to brace myself. I took a deep breath. Hurry up. Then my husband opened the door. I'm home. Weren't you supposed to come back tomorrow? I never said that. What are you confusing it with? Don't lie to me. More importantly, who is she? She's not a friend, is she? My husband also looked like he had made up his mind. Why is she holding my child? When I tried to take the child from the woman. Hey, what are you doing? I should be asking you that. This is my child. That ends today. The woman looked at me and smirked. I'm leaving you to marry Nancy. So this is the end for you. My husband was so excited that he was breathing heavily. Unlike him, I remained calm. I had a feeling something like this might happen. The woman holding my child had a smug look on her face. Seeing that face irritated me. Don't look at me like that, it's disgusting. Aren't you the disgusting one? Huh? Then my husband defended the woman. Well, calm down. Thinking back, he never once came to see me when I went back to my parents' house to give birth. Why did I choose a man like him? Hey. I can hear you. Sorry, I meant for you to hear it. You're kidding me. Enough. Get out of here. I told you we're getting a divorce. But my husband didn't know. A divorce? Do you really think you can do that? What do you mean? Just what I said. Then I revealed a shocking truth to my husband and the woman. Upon hearing it, my husband went into a frenzy. But it was already too late for regrets. I'm Mia Johnson, 3 years older than my husband, Keith. We've been married for 5 years and I finally got pregnant. I'm 4 months pregnant now. My belly is starting to show a bit. How many months are you now? I'll be 5 months next week. Time flies. But are you sure it's okay for you to still be working? I'd like to stay home, but I can't afford to. Oh. When I found out I was pregnant, I planned to take maternity leave. However, sorry, I got fired. What? What do you mean? Just what I said. They laid me off due to downsizing. It's ridiculous. Do they know how much I've contributed to the company? My husband was so angry, he trashed the room. Hey, calm down. I understand how you feel, but... You understand? You're probably mocking me too. Why would I mock you? Because you work for a better company than I did. That's irrelevant. I managed to calm him down after that. About an hour later, my husband finally calmed down. Sorry, I wasn't thinking straight. I know it's tough. Let's figure out what to do next together. Yeah. Because my husband was unemployed, I decided to keep working. In the meantime, my husband would look for a new job. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to make ends meet. But that wasn't the end of our misfortune. Then, 2 months later, I felt a sharp pain in my abdomen, probably due to the physical and mental stress. I ended up being rushed to the hospital by ambulance. Are you okay? I heard you collapsed at work. Does this look okay to you? Then my husband noticed something. What happened to your belly? I had a miscarriage. A miscarriage? You must be kidding. It's true. I couldn't even cry. Even though it was a child we finally managed to conceive. We had gone through fertility treatments because we couldn't conceive. There were times I almost gave up. When I got pregnant, I cried secretly, so my husband wouldn't notice. And now this. From that point on, I lost the will to live completely. You can always have another child. Don't say it like it's that easy. Do you know how much I've suffered? All right. I'm sorry. My bad. Since that incident, our relationship took a turn for the worse. My in-laws would come over and call me useless. How are you feeling? I'm fine. Really? How did things end up like this? Well, it's your fault. What? You killed our grandchild. From what I hear, you ignored Keith and focused only on your work. Wait, that's not true. Stop making excuses. Apparently, my husband had been telling lies to his mother. I couldn't understand why he would do that. From then on, I became more and more isolated. I'm leaving now. I'll be back soon. With that, my mother-in-law left. That night, I talked to my husband, who was out at the time. Your mom came over today. Can you explain what's going on? What are you talking about? Didn't you lie to her? She just came over and accused me, then left. I told her the truth. You know how she is, she never listens properly. I understood what my husband was saying. In fact, she had misinterpreted things and caused a fuss before. Back then, my husband explained the situation, and we managed to calm things down. Just leave my mom to me. What exactly do you plan to do? Don't you have other things to take care of first? What? Your job. You haven't found one yet, have you? Or did you? Not yet, but it's gonna happen soon. Don't worry. Just as he said, within a week, my husband found a job. I got a job. Really? That's great. What kind of job is it? It's at a company a friend recommended. It's a good one. Good. That's a relief. And I talked to my mom, too. Though I wasn't entirely convinced, as my husband said, my mother-in-law didn't come over or complain anymore. 2 months after my husband found a job, I suppressed my excitement and called my husband. That day, my husband was working on his day off. Why are you calling at this hour? I have something to tell you. Something to tell me? I'm busy right now. Can you call back later? Wait, it'll only take a moment. All right, 3 minutes. Only 3 minutes? I thought, but didn't say it out loud. Remember how I said I haven't been feeling well lately? Yeah, you mentioned it. Don't you understand? Understand what? I mean, I'm pregnant. Pregnant? No way. It seemed my husband realized. You're pregnant? Yes, I'm pregnant. Really? Aren't you happy? Of course I'm happy. But I wasn't sure if he was truly pleased. When he found out I was pregnant, he seemed confused and took a long time to respond. I'm home. Welcome back. Congratulations. That's really great. Thank you. I'll let my parents know. No, I'll tell them myself. I don't want any misunderstandings like before. Oh, okay. Got it. I immediately contacted my mother-in-law. Mia, what's going on? I'm a bit busy. I have important news. I found out I'm pregnant. Pregnant? Really? Yes, I just found out. That's wonderful. Now our family is secure. Life was peaceful after that. Everyone in the family was happy. By the way, do you think the baby will be a boy or a girl? It's too early to tell. Yeah, I guess you're right. After that, my husband became very interested in the baby's gender. He preferred a girl, just like the first time I was pregnant. But there was one person who disagreed. Are you joking? Say it again. I said the baby is a girl. What? What does that mean for us? It doesn't matter if it's a girl. You don't understand. A boy is important for our family lineage. My mother-in-law was very old-fashioned. She wanted the first child to be a boy. But regardless, we couldn't choose the baby's gender. Only God knows that. My mother-in-law's attitude towards me became harsher again. Calling me useless became the norm, causing significant emotional damage. She would come over and do as she pleased, even though I was pregnant. I'm a guest. Hurry up and serve me tea. Got it. I decided to follow her instructions, knowing that being defiant wouldn't lead to anything good. The problem was that my husband was involved in. Even though he said he wanted a girl, he changed his mind and started saying he wanted a boy. Watching the interactions between my husband and mother-in-law, it was clear he couldn't oppose her. Just do what mom says. Now get moving. My husband was acting like a fox borrowing the authority of a tiger. He didn't do any housework but complained as if he had the right. As time went by, my belly grew larger and the due date approached. I decided to give birth at my parents' house. I called my mother, who lived alone. Okay. Come back whenever you want. Thanks, Mom. So, I forcefully returned to my parents' house. It had been a while, but it felt comfortable as always. They never contact you, do they? That's just how they are. Are you gonna be alright? I'll manage somehow. Poor you. In perfect health, I gave birth to a healthy baby girl. My husband came 2 days after the birth. Thanks for giving birth. She's cute. I thought you wanted a boy? Well, never mind. I was just so happy that she was born healthy. But I couldn't take it easy for long. Only 2 months after giving birth, I had to go on a business trip. I hurried home to report it to my husband. However, hello? Sorry, but I'll be home late tonight. Go ahead and sleep without me. Late again tonight? I can't help it. That's my position right now. I understand, but... Anyway, I'm a bit tied up at the moment. Wait a minute. The call ended. Damn it, what's going on? Suppressing my frustration, I was heading towards the station. Huh? Is that you? The person who called out to me was the last person I expected. Tully? Is that you? It is. Mia, right? Meeting you here is such a surprise. I'm surprised too and couldn't help calling out. Do you have some time now? My husband is working late tonight, so I have time. So, I reunited with a high school classmate. We decided to go out for dinner and reminisced about the old days. I've always wanted to thank you, Mia. Thank me? Yes. Do you remember the graduation ceremony? Of course. I helped you confess to your crush. Those were the days. Well, the guy I confessed to is now my husband. Really? Yes, really. How about you? Compared to the happy Tully, my situation was... Well, I'm married and have a child. Congratulations! But things haven't been going well recently. By the way, this is my husband. I showed her a picture of him. Huh? This person. What's wrong? I think someone like him recently joined our company. We exchanged contact information that day. A week later, I heard some shocking news from Tully. I decided not to tell my husband and asked her not to inform him either. While all this was happening, the day I had to leave for my business trip arrived. I think I'll leave Millie with my parents. What? You don't need to do that. I can take care of her at home. Can you really handle it? Don't worry. If anything happens, my mom will help. I didn't like relying on my mother-in-law, but it was better than leaving my husband alone with the responsibility. All right. Please take good care of her. Leave it to me. Then I left for a month-long business trip. The trip itself went smoothly without any issues. I called regularly to check in, and it seemed my husband was taking care of things better than I expected. Initially, he contacted me frequently, but after 2 weeks, his calls stopped completely. Even when I reached out, he only responded about 1 out of 3 times. Why aren't you answering the phone? I'm sorry. I've been really tired lately. But I'm sending you photos, right? Isn't that enough? Yeah. Okay, talk to you later. I knew arguing wouldn't solve anything, so I didn't pursue it further. However, another problem arose. He started asking more about when I would return. It didn't seem like he wanted me back early. It felt more like he didn't want me to come back or was trying to monitor my actions. What both scenarios had in common was that he was likely up to no good. As the trip was ending, I was set to return the day after tomorrow. When are you coming back from your business trip? Huh? The day after tomorrow. Oh, the day after tomorrow. Is something wrong? No, just checking. Well, please take care of our daughter. Of course. But I'm not coming back the day after tomorrow. I'm coming back tomorrow. The reason I lied is, well, it's just a hunch. I've been suspicious of my husband's behavior since before the trip. When I got back from the long business trip, the door, which should have been closed, was open. I sneaked into the house quietly, so I wouldn't be noticed. At the entrance, there were shoes belonging to an unfamiliar woman. I could hear my husband and the woman talking in the living room. I approached the door to eavesdrop on their conversation. But, are you really okay with this? Of course. As long as I can be with you, that's all that matters. I'm so happy. And look, even this kid is attached to you, right? She must have accepted you as her mother. I'm gonna be her mom from now on. What kind of conversation are they having? Just listening to their conversation made my skin crawl. Even though there was a child, they began to engage in intimate acts. Isn't this a bad place for that? It's fine. No one's watching. But, all right, let's go to the bedroom. Thinking they might come this way, I tried to hide, but it was too late. I had no choice but to brace myself. I took a deep breath. Hurry up. Then my husband opened the door. I'm home. Weren't you supposed to come back tomorrow? I never said that. What are you confusing it with? Don't lie to me. More importantly, who is she? She's not a friend, is she? My husband also looked like he had made up his mind. Why is she holding my child? When I tried to take the child from the woman. Hey, what are you doing? I should be asking you that. This is my child. That ends today. The woman looked at me and smirked. I'm leaving you to marry Nancy. So this is the end for you. My husband was so excited that he was breathing heavily. Unlike him, I remained calm. I had a feeling something like this might happen. The woman holding my child had a smug look on her face. Seeing that face irritated me. Don't look at me like that, it's disgusting. Aren't you the disgusting one? Huh? Then my husband defended the woman. Well, calm down. Thinking back, he never once came to see me when I went back to my parents' house to give birth. Why did I choose a man like him? Hey. I can hear you. Sorry, I meant for you to hear it. You're kidding me. Enough. Get out of here. I told you we're getting a divorce. Before anything else, tell me who that person is, and how you met her. Well, since it's the end, I'll tell you. My husband laughed as he explained. His mistress's name was Nancy Hill. She's 25 years old and works at a bar. They met when his coworker took him there. I see. So that's why you were coming home late. Everything he said made sense. As he kept going to the bar, they hit it off and started meeting outside of work. She's young and beautiful, after all. That's right. She's nothing like you. He said so while pulling Nancy closer to him. It was as if he was flaunting her in front of me. But my husband didn't know. A divorce? Do you really think you can do that? What do you mean? Just what I said. You're just being a sore loser. Yeah, just leave, old lady. That's why you can't get a divorce. It's obvious if you think about it. They were completely unaware of their own foolishness. It was pathetic. I couldn't help but think I never wanted to end up like that. Then I revealed a shocking truth to my husband and the woman. Upon hearing it, my husband went into a frenzy. But it was already too late for regrets. Your company's CEO is Tully, right? How do you know that? Well, Tully is my high school classmate. I had a feeling it might be her. She never mentioned that to me. Of course not. I told her not to say anything. That day when I had dinner with Tully after a long time, I learned she was now working as a CEO. My husband wasn't particularly good at his job. He was favored only because he was my husband. In other words, the reason you have a good position at your company is because you're my husband. That's a lie. Then how about we call her right now and ask? Divorcing me meant losing his current position. And if I asked, Tully would fire him easily. That's how grateful Tully is to me. So, what do you want to do? I don't mind if you still want a divorce. My husband's face turned paler and paler. Are you okay? Nancy asked him, but he didn't respond. I'll give you a little time. Time? Yes, I'll give you a week. And I'm taking Millie back. I took my beloved child back from Nancy. And Nancy, you should think carefully too. Me too? Yes. You don't want to ruin your future, do you? If you understand, then leave. Now. My husband, barely able to stand, was helped out by Nancy. The real revenge against them was about to begin. First, I contacted Tully, the CEO of my husband's company. Are you sure about this? Absolutely. Actually, I have something I want to tell you too. I asked Tully to fire my husband. Normally, it would be impossible, of course. However, my husband deserved to be fired for what he did. How much is it? We're still investigating, but it could be a couple $100,000. That much? Not only was my husband cheating, but he was also embezzling company funds. He had been stealing small amounts by abusing his position. He even recruited a struggling subordinate to help him. However, and the subordinate confessed out of guilt? Yes. I'm really sorry. I can't apologize enough for my foolish husband. It's not your fault, Mia. Besides, even without your suggestion, we would have sued him eventually. It seemed like my luck was finally turning around. You haven't told him yet, have you? We're still investigating, so it'll take a little more time. Got it. Do whatever you need to. I hadn't realized how foolish my husband was. But now, it's all over for my husband. With this powerful weapon in hand, I took my next step. I hired a skilled private investigator to thoroughly investigate Nancy. And one interesting fact after another came to light. Then the promised week arrived. The week is up. Yeah, I know. My husband and Nancy arrived right away. They looked significantly older in just 1 week. Please, sit down. I handed them tea as they kept their heads down. So, have you decided what to do? Are we getting a divorce? As expected, my husband didn't respond. We can't start if you don't say something. It was getting tedious, so I decided to play my trump card. I know you embezzled money from the company. What? You thought you wouldn't get caught, but too bad. Your accomplice confessed everything. Damn. My husband looked devastated. It's only a matter of time before you're fired, and this becomes a police matter. Wait, if I don't divorce you, will they let it go? Wait a minute. What about me? Shut up. What? I didn't want to see this lovers' quarrel. First of all, whether we divorce or not, what you did is a crime. There's no way you'll be forgiven. No way. My husband slumped, his strength completely drained. Oh, by the way, we are getting a divorce. So, you'll be paying not just for the damages but also alimony and child support. Be prepared. What am I supposed to do? What about my debt? Suddenly, my husband's expression changed. Debt? What debt? Oh. You've dug your own grave, Nancy. I've looked into you, and it turns out you have a lot of debt. For what? Oh, it's for a guy. Someone much better looking than you. You've been doing that. What about you? You're no better. They started arguing again. Anyway, that's how it is. The divorce will be handled by my lawyer. Wait. Listen to me. An idea struck me. If you both get down on your knees and beg, I might listen. Get on our knees. That's impossible. Then this conversation is over. All right, I'll do it now. My husband stood up from his chair and got down on his knees. What are you doing? You do it too. Why me? Just do it. Fine. And so, both of them got down on their knees and begged. I understand your sincerity. Then. But it's no use. What? I mean, what you did is meaningless. So, if you get that, just disappear. Don't mess with me. My husband stood up and raised his fist. Don't you hear the sirens? What? Should you be hanging around here? You'll get caught. Damn. Nancy, let's go. Wait a minute. They rushed out of the house in a panic. Hell is the only thing waiting for them now. They'll regret ever making an enemy of me for the rest of their lives. After that, my husband was never arrested. But there was a reason for that. According to Tully, they made an agreement that instead of being handed over to the police, he would be fired and repay all the embezzled money. Tully, thank you. Sorry for the trouble. It's all right. It feels a bit unresolved, though. Not at all. Let's have dinner again once things settle down. Yes, definitely. I divorced my husband, and he was ordered to pay alimony and child support. 6 months later, I was happily living with my child. Even my mother-in-law, who had always treated me as an enemy, apologized to me after this incident. She completely took my side and disowned my husband, cutting off all support. I felt much lighter. One day, as I was trying to forget about my ex-husband. What are you doing here? My ex-husband and Nancy showed up in front of me. They were thin and wearing shabby clothes, a stark contrast to how they used to be. It was clear that they were struggling financially. This is all your fault. We're living such miserable lives because of you. That's just misplaced blame. None of this was my fault. They were reaping what they had sown. Because of you. They glared at me. So, why are you two here? Surely not just to complain. Give us money. What? I know you got a promotion recently. I don't know what tricks you used, but you must have a lot of money now. How did you know? I can hire a detective too. That's impressive, but I got my promotion on my own merit. Don't compare me to you. My ex-husband grabbed my collar. But he was too weak, and I easily pushed him off. How about you get a job? If you do anything more, I'll call the police. Go ahead if you want. That threat won't work anymore. Is that so? I took out my phone and pretended to make a call. Are you serious? Enough, let's go. In the end, the two of them ran away again. I had no intention of calling the police here. They needed to suffer much more. Forever. Since getting fired, my ex-husband, who had been unemployed, started working part-time. Nancy was still working at the bar, but it looked like she wasn't getting many customers. They're barely getting by, making money day by day. They worked desperately from morning until night every day. Normally, they wouldn't need to work that hard, but they had massive debts. About the compensation amount. So, how much is it? According to Tully, the compensation was about $400,000. With that much debt, it's no wonder he has to work so hard. Most of their earnings each month go towards repayment. To save on food costs, they seem to be living on one meal a day. Hearing that didn't stir any emotions in me. I had no sympathy, of course. What does it mean? I found out something interesting about Nancy. She had been divorced before. Moreover, she had a child with her ex-husband, who now had custody. I told it to my ex-husband. Did you know Nancy was divorced? What? And it seems she still has feelings for her ex-husband. So, be careful. Goodbye.
Hey, wait!
I don't know what happened to them after that. They moved far away, but they couldn't escape the debt. They'll keep suffering. On the other hand, everything was going well for me. I'm sure our future will be bright.